Assalamu alaikum everyone, how are you? Hope you all are fine. My name is Rimsha Azhar and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video we will talk about the titular significance of the return of the native. Return of the native is the novel, is the name of novel. And in today's video I am going to tell you why this novel name is Return of the Native. So, as you all know, that a good title must be appropriate and significant. Just as a signboard indicates the content of a shop, a good title should indicate the substance or the basic theme of a novel. The Return of the Native is the story of the tragic consequences of the return of Climb Your Pride, who is the native of Egdon Heath. Climb Your Pride basically is the protagonist of the novel, and he is the native of Egdon Heath. Climb Your Pride loves his birthplace so much, and he was born and bred up on Egdon Heath. He is its native. He loves the heath and is permeated through with its influences. He finds hills congenial and friendly, and its very spirit in his blood. His playthings have been the flora and fauna of Egdon, and he is familiar with the face of ancient heath. As one is with the face as a close relative, he is the son of Egdon. Egdon is in his blood, and he cannot remain happy away from it. So, guys, in this paragraph, we came to know that Climb Your Pride is very attached to its birthplace, Egdon Heath, and he cannot remain happy away from it. As Climb, the native of Egdon, was promising lad, he was sent to Paris so that he may prosper and rise in life. Then he became the manager of a big diamond business. He was doing well there, but still he did not feel happy and satisfied. He felt bored and tired in the artificial and unnatural life of the city of Paris. He did not feel at home there. He felt that in Paris he was pandering to the meanest vanities of libertinous and shameless women. And then the call of Egdon was too strong for him that he returned. So guys, all the issues started at there when Climb Your Pride returned to its birthplace, Egdon Heath. The return of Climb to his native Egdon causes so much sorrows, suffering in the life of at least 5 people. Climb himself, Estacia, Willdave, Mrs. Jobright, and Thomason. So, Climb Your Pride return to its native causes so much sorrows and suffering on the life of 5 people, including himself too. Climb was disgusted with the life at Paris, and he intended to devote the rest of his life to the education of heath folk. He intended to stay forever in his birthplace to start a sort of school for the education of the rustics. This is the noble end, but indeed it too idealistic and is bound to result in frustration and disappointment. The illiterate Egdon people would never have appreciated his nobility or his attempts at education them. In order to put his plan into practice, he studies hard late into the night. The result is that he grows semi-blind and is obliged to take to the humble work of frizz cutter to support himself. So this is a great tragedy, and Climb's suffering can better be imagined than described. So this title must be appropriate, and the major theme of this novel is Return of the Native. But this is not all. His return brings tragedy in the life of others also. Estacia, the Queen of Night, falls in love with him and marries him in the hope that he would take her to Paris. Estacia, we already know that is a very greedy woman. She always wanted to go Paris, wanted to change her lifestyle, but when she came to know the man's love of Climb Your Pride for its native place, she became very disappointed. And in this way, her craze for city life would be satisfied, but she disappointed. She is disgusted with Egdon, regards it as hell, and yearns for the pomp and glitter of city life. When she finds that Climb has no intentions of returning to Paris, her frustration knows no bound. She turns once again to Will Dave. Will Dave is her first boyfriend and plans to elope with him. The result is that both of them are drowned in the dark and stormy night. So, this is the cut short, the career of beautiful Stacia and of Will Dave, the Rousseau of Edgar. So, guys, in this paragraph, you came to know that every problem started when Climb Your Pride returned to its native place. If Climb not returned, Stacia would have married Will Dave and all would have been well. But as it is, his return makes Will Dave marry Thomason, and two aid incompatible by their very natures. Will Dave does not remain faithful to Thomason for long and makes love to Stacia again. Thomason suffers silently as long as she lives and finally has to suffer the pangs of widowhood. Her life would have been a long tale of misery when not there been the faithful Diggory to marry her and thus bring a ray of sunshine into her dark life. Again, it is the return of Climb to Edgar that brings him into direct conflict with Mrs. Joe Bright, his mother. Mrs. Joe Bright loves her son so deeply and devotedly. She lives for him alone. A wise and shrewd woman, she knows that Stacia would never make a good wife to him. She therefore wants Climb against a hasty marriage with her. She strongly objects to their marriage. The result is that the two quarrel violently and finally separate and live apart. The result is that both of them suffers acutely but silently. Their suffering is terrible when Mrs. Joe Pride comes to know that her son has turned a first cutter. She relents and goes to his cottage to be reconciled. But cruel destiny has willed otherwise. The door of Climb's house remained closed in her face. When she turns back, disappointed and exhausted, and dies on Heath. So the novels narrates the story of tragic consequences of return of Climb to Edgar, his native place. So now we can say that the title is appropriate, the return of the native. So that's all in this video. Guys, if you like my video, please subscribe my channel. Allah Hafiz.